Morning, hello, afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this. That's a hair in the oil, gross. I wanted to do a get ready with me, but I'm not going to do that because, to be honest, I don't want to put any makeup on my face today. It needs to breathe. I'm breaking out so bad. So I thought I just would put some oil on my face, have a chat with you guys to do maybe a Q&A. I've got some questions that I haven't done that I got a while back. Just got out the shower. I feel amazing after my workout. Fudge you. Um, Shanava. Yours bright here. But guys, I'm a bit sad because last night Alex and I were in bed. The internet was down. Oh my word, the internet was down last night. So of course I was like doodling in my book and drawing and stuff. And then Alex was like, oh, I also want to draw. So I said, why don't we draw something in our room? I'm gonna draw Tatum. And then he was like, okay, I'll draw the my teddy bear dog. I'll show you my drawings. Our drawings quickly. Okay, so Alex drew dog, my dog, my teddy bear that was on the table, and then I drew Tatum, but Tatum started to look like a little bit of a girl. I was making notes about what I need to do. Tatum, he looks like a female. Oh no. So anyway, random, but I actually just mentioned dog because I'm a bit sad because after our drawing dogs and on back on the internet and stuff like that, he came across a post of a dog for adoption, and her name is Hazel, and it's a pit bull. I know you guys are watching going, no, not another dog. You don't need another dog. But I don't know if it's just me, but like when you see a picture of your dog for the first time, there's just something that goes on in your heart, and you're like, it is so bright. Can you guys see me? Because I can't see me see you. Can I get out of this area? Freaking hell. And my heart just fluttered for this dog. My heart got butterflies because she looks so similar to Nova, as if it could have been Nova's sister. And she's 2 years old. But unfortunately, after sending a message this morning, she's all the way in the Popo. And it's so far from where I am. And I really love her. And why I love her even more is the fact that I go sit here in the lounge. Maybe it's not so bright. Is that she's got one leg missing because she was hit by a car and her leg couldn't be saved. And this dog is absolutely stunning. I'm telling you now, if I was rich, I would get in my car right now and go drive to freaking Limpopo's and go get that dog. I want to so bad. It's like when I saw Duke for the first time and I saw his picture. I just sent Alex a message. I'm like, by the way, he has a new dog. Because it was like the first time. Hey, Duke. No, he's dead to the world. That I saw your face. I just knew you had to be mine, honestly. And that's how I feel now with Hazel, but she's so far away. So I'm going to pray that someone finds her. Well, that she finds a home with people that love me or love her as much as I love my dogs. Because it's actually ridiculous how much I love my dogs. But anyway, I'm supposed to be doing a Q&A, and now I'm talking about dogs. But my heart is sad. And Popo. Oh, my book. I need my book with my questions. Okay. So I thought maybe if I do a Q&A... This hair still hasn't grown back. So I thought if I do a Q&A, that maybe I'll be in a better mood now because I don't have a new puppy. I'm telling you, one day when I'm rich, this is my plan of action. I'm going to buy myself a huge property, massive property, and I'm just going to adopt all these pit bulls with special needs. And I know I have my hands full with Tatum, but I just have too much love that I need to give. I don't know how Duke would feel with another sister because he's already dividing my love. Hey, my boy. And he likes his mommy. He loves me. Where's my questions at? Questions, where are you? Ugh, my throat. Son of a Sullivan. Okay, so these questions. Oh, yeah, you are. No specific order, but this is from Renee and Morgan. So from Renee, my daughter, and Morgan, her bestie. They've got questions for me. So I was like, why not? So I don't know who's it from who, because she didn't say specifically. You never know. Starting off with question number 1. What is my best perfume? Britney Spears Curious. I freaking love Britney Spears Curious. My favorite perfume ever. And also there's a Justin Bieber perfume. I don't know what it's called. White bottle, had a key on. I don't think they make that anymore, but damn it, I felt delicious wearing that. So definitely best perfume, Britney Spears Curious. When I'm rich one day as well, I'm gonna get a dog and a perfume. Making a wish list, people, making a wish list. Easy, most favorite recipe, hands down, my mom's curry and baked bean. Because I'm not much of a cook. I don't enjoy cooking. And, people hear this and they go and think like, oh, I'm such a useless woman because, we must be pregnant and barefoot in the kitchen. We still have an evolution since the caveman. But I'm just going to go into a little bit of a story time here. But, if I think back, every woman that I know, even male that I know, that enjoys being in the kitchen, has come from an upbringing where their mom loved to cook as well. Their mom was in the kitchen, they were sitting with them, helping them cook, making recipes, things have been passed down generation to generation. And I never had that. I mean, my mom left myself, my brother. I was 2, my brother wasn't even 1 yet. And my mom got on a bus and she left to Joburg and she came back when we started school. And I lived with my mom and my stepmom and my dad. And then I was between homes. So I was between my dad's house. Then I lived with my gran. At one stage, I lived with my aunt. So I never had that, it's family time, help your mom prep in the kitchen, make things and whatever. And I had no love of it. And all the people that I've ever spoken to, and not really spoken to find questions, but only I sat with my mom and I lost this within the kitchen. Did it make me realize that I never had those things, which really did affect my cooking skills and lack of love of food and in the thing. Maybe it's just me. Maybe people can relate to this too. But if you've had an absent parent figure in your life, it's amazing how little things like making food is affected, And of course, when I was living with my gran, I was too lazy to go and sit with her in the kitchen. I suppose I'm not used to sitting in the kitchen. My gran makes amazing food as well. Freaking her, hands down, roast potatoes. You have never eaten anything better in your whole life. Okay, next question. Embarrassing yet funny memory teenager years. Yeah, I've had lots. Embarrassing yet funny. No, it's not teenage years. But I do have one. Sorry, I'm going to autocorrect this question because the only one that I have that will never leave me, I'll probably be like 100 years old and still remember this day like it was yesterday. It was in junior school. And when you get out of the car and you put your backpack on, your skirt sometimes gets stuck. So I'm walking into the school gates and Nina, I think it was you, Nina, you're calling me, Robin, to show me that my arse is sticking out. And I'm waving back, hi, my friends, hi. Meanwhile, they're trying to tell me that my arse is sticking out, okay? I walked from getting out the car all the way to where they were, passing all these kids on the way by, cars driving past, only for them to tell me I wasn't greeting you, I was actually trying to tell you. But that was the most embarrassing yet funny to look back on moment. I mean, I don't, in my teenage years, I really didn't, in my teenage years, I was working already. I mean, I was pregnant at 17, I was working from 13, I had to grow up very quickly and didn't really go out much and do much things. Funny and most embarrassing moment in my teenage years. Maybe anyone watching that knows me in my teenage years has got a funny moment that they've shared with me that they would like to remind me. That would be quite great or embarrassing. I don't know. Either way, I'm up to here. There's probably lots more. Okay, next question. Advice for your 12-year-old. What? Advice for a 12-year-old, what would it be? For a 12-year-old. This is the age 12 to 13 when you start getting interested in boys. I think that my advice would be, God, I sound like a proper old fart and parent now, because I used to hate it when my parents used to say this to me, well, I want my dad and stuff. Don't worry about boys. Pay attention to your schoolwork, do well at your sports. I really do think that is a vital part of those years, because you get so wrapped up in relationships. And boys at that age are not keen for relationships, and boys and girls are thinking very differently at that age. And I just remember like those years of my life just being consumed by like boys, and getting a little bit deep now. I think I think it was more the fact that my mom did leave and I was with my dad, and then I was at my dad's home, and it was almost like all these important people, including men, were never there for me. So I used to attach myself to these boys, just to feel loved and wanted. And I was hurt so many times in the process. And I just wish that I didn't give them the time of day, and I had better guidance in my life, and I wasn't interested in them. And also, not to do stupid drinking with strange people, and don't try and grow up before your age, because you're only young once, and you're gonna look back and be like, I should have listened to my parents. And also, don't get a tattoo. Yeah, I think for your 12-year-old self, yeah, I mean, it's just pay attention in class, get your education, get your I mean, that sets up precedents and principles for how you're going to be outside of school. And you're going to have a lot of friends that are going to be jealous over you, girls that are going to be jealous over you, and you do not stop being who you are, because other people are jealous of you, because there's only one of you. You're one of a kind. Everyone else is taken. So those people, you cut them out of your life now already at 12 years old, and you realize your own value and self-worth when it comes to boys, when it comes to the people in your life. And don't feel insecure about your body. And if someone calls you fat, that's very nice. You say, I love my fat. My fat's part of me. And if you don't like my fat, then tough tacky. Because body image at that age is crucial, because your body's going through so many changes as well. I was very insecure at 12. And that also worked hand in hand with the attention I was getting from the wrong people. It was because I was so insecure and bullied that anybody that gave me the time of day was like, oh, everything. And those people were using me too. So be aware of the people that you make friends with at 12 years old. Because I mean, I'm friends still to this day with a handful of people. And I mean, their characters were shown right then at 12 years old, and we still friends today. And I cut out all the other people. Cut. I mean, I don't need to have a lot of friends. My mom said to me, if before you die, if you can count on one hand how many friends you've had a good life, because there will be people that will come and go in your life, and you might be too young to even realize it, that will only be your friends because they want to use you for something. And also, don't advertise what you don't have to feel like you have to be a part of something. Like if you've got a friend that's rich, don't lie about your upbringing or your situation, or the fact that you can't wear name brand clothes, because that's their life and you got your own life, and there's nothing wrong with you. And trying to be someone that you're not to fit in with the crowd is never ever worth it, because then you're just setting yourself up for disaster for the rest of your life. Don't keep up with the Joneses. The grass isn't as green on the other side because it's fake grass. That's all I'm saying. Jews like it. That actually got me sweating. That's actually quite a hectic question. I think I could go on for days of our lives with that, but moving along. What's something valuable you've learned becoming a mom early? I've learned a lot. Flip so much. When I was pregnant with Renee at 17, I thought my life was over. I was actually 16, turned 17 when I had Renee. I, honest to God, thought my life was over. And when I had her, and they took her out the room, I burst out crying. It was like my person wasn't with me anymore, and it was such a strange feeling to have, considering this entire pregnancy was a secret. It was stressful. My life is over. I hate this. I'm whatever is ruining my life. And in that moment, I just realized I have just created something in my body that will love me and that I can love unconditionally. And it taught me in that moment to just grow up, and take accountability for another human being, and that everything else wasn't important. Oh, I also learned, with that being said, I understand why a lot of people said only have kids when you're married, because I had to go through everything in my pregnancy alone. You know, the excitement of let's have a baby, the excitement of their positive pregnancy test, getting the room ready, sharing it with family, everyone crying, all the hugs, all the kisses, all that, excitement. And Renee really missed out on so much growing up because I was a young mom. I was working late nights. I was pulling like nine. No, I worked from 9 until 9, like hours upon hours of shifts just to afford stuff. Um, and I just think that if I had, in a perfect world, found the right person and had a baby with them, then I would have been able to give her more. Because she deserves everything of the best, no less than the best. And I don't know. I think that I don't like. There's so many lessons. I just kind of think of one that's like they're all important, like one to like really fixate on. Um, Most valuable thing you've learned becoming a mom early. I don't know. It's such a deep question because it's so hard to actually go into all of it without getting emotional, because I can really feel like this lump in my throat hurting me. Um, I think it's also taught me and shown me that, you know, people are going to judge you and you can stay strong for your child because nothing else matters but her. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I'm gonna maybe skip that question. I'm feeling myself getting a little bit emotional on that one. Um, do you plan to have any more kids? Last question. I wonder who is that one from, huh? Um, you know, I would. I won't say yes and no. I was always like, when I was married, I wanted to have a child. He wasn't ready. I really wanted to give Renee a sibling while she was still in the house. Like, I didn't want my kids to be separate because me and my brothers all live separately, except for Clinton. Him and I live together, with my mom and my stepmom and my dad. Um, and it causes such a wedge in your relationship that I always said I don't want my kids to be apart. And being with a stepmom and how I was treated in comparison to how my stepbrother was treated, it always made me have this thing in my head that I don't want Renee's brother or sister or Renee to be treated any differently than what she would be as that person's own real flesh and blood. So it really has made my ovaries shrivel up when I have met a man and loved a man and thought about a baby and then had that thought pop into my head going, will he love her and treat her well if he has a child with me? Is that child going to get more love than my child? I want my child and that child to have equal love. I went through a lot of stuff, and I don't want to be cruel and say negative things about my stepmom because that was in the past. We've both forgiven each other for our roles that we've played, because it wasn't easy for her taking on 2 kids. She was 19, 20 herself. But she taught me a lot of lessons of how I want my child to be treated, and a new addition to the family and the whole unit to be treated. And I will have more kids when I find a man, and I'm not dissing Alex. Alex treats Renee very well and he does love her. But so maybe I should rephrase that. But I will have a child one day, but then Renee must be here. But by the time I freaking have a child, Renee will probably be out of school and freaking overseas living her best life. And then I feel like I've taken that away from her as well, you know, because she was so excited for a brother or a sister. She would tell the kids at school that my mom's pregnant, and then the kids would run up and rub my belly and be like, "Oh, you're pregnant." And Renee's so excited, and she would just, of course, everyone had siblings, and she so badly wanted to be a part of what they were going through and have a sibling of her own. I remember when we moved to Kudu's Kloof, in Grahamstown, our first home here when I moved here from PE. And I'm like, which room do you want, you know? And instead of her saying, no, I want this poster up here and I want this, she's like, oh no, you can put the crib in this corner and I can help you with a bottle of crib. Not even a cot. Crib, okay? I can see all these American stuff she's been watching. And she was just so excited. So, yeah, another hard question. Why are these questions so hard? You would think they'd be easy. But I would have more kids. But I don't want Renee to ever feel like I love her less. And I want the person that I have my next child with to embrace Renee with as much love and equal affection and attention as he would his child. And that's very hard to find. I know a couple of people in this town that have got step children, and let me tell you something, I look at them and I'm like, that is what I want for myself. That is what I want for my life. You know, there's nothing worse than when you're with someone and they say, oh, you know, is this your child? And they're like, no, it's not my child, it's Robin's child. Like, that would put me off straight away. Like, no, you can say our child. You know what I'm saying? And I was married at the time when this happened. So he could have said our child. So, of course, when he wants to have a baby, my ovaries are going to shrink, because if you can't even, going into the relationship marriage, I'm telling you now, I've got a child, and this is where it's going. So if you don't accept my child, you don't accept me. Straight line. I mean, I've dissed a lot of people, because if they didn't want to know Renee, then X you out for life. So maybe one day. And I would get Renee's approval on the person I have a child with before I get down and dirty. But mind you, then I'll have to move back down to PE so I can be with my grand so she can help me, because I could not have done anything and have managed to be a single mom at 17 without my grand. My grand helped me. That woman's a freaking saint. She's given up her life for all of her kids, including her grandkids and great-grandkids. Phenomenal woman. Phenomenal. So, yeah, I know, you know, what a rave on these questions. And that freaking something valuable you've learned becoming a mom so early. I wonder why it makes a person get so emotional. I should do a whole video about just being a young mom one day. Tell you guys all my business. Maybe shed a tear or two, because we've been doing that a lot lately. Sorry. Getting up close and personal with you guys. I feel so far away, yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for listening to me rant. And I wish you all a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. And keep well, keep safe, look well, after each other, look well, look after each other. And yes, subscribe if you enjoyed this channel. Thumbs up the video if you enjoyed it. If you want to drop me a Q&A, I'll leave my number in the description below. If you want to remain anonymous, then I will do that as well. I do have other questions as well where people want to remain anonymous because they want the tea, but they don't want to be exposed. So anonymous you can be. Okay, love lumps. Love you all. Until next time. Bye. Oh, can't hit those high notes. I used to be a singer. Not anymore. Not today. No. Bye. Love you. Hello. Not as dry. Oh, I love it, baby. You're so dark. We can't even see what you look like.